Jack the Ripper is one of history's most infamous and chilling serial killers. Over 130 years have passed since his brutal murders terrorized London's East End, yet the mystery and horror surrounding him remain as potent as ever. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 10 darkest facts about Jack the Ripper. Facts that reveal the grim reality behind the legend, the brutal nature of his crimes, and the eerie mysteries that still haunt investigators and historians today. Imagine a killer so elusive, so brutal, and so cold that even after more than a century, no one knows who he was. A man who stalked the foggy streets of London's Whitechapel, murdering women in the dead of night with a savagery that shocked a city and terrified a nation. This is the story of Jack the Ripper, the shadow that still haunts the darkest corners of history. 1. The murders happened in a small, overcrowded area of London. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror was confined to a tiny, grimy district of London called Whitechapel in the East End. This area was overcrowded, impoverished, and rife with crime and desperation. In 1888, Whitechapel was home to thousands of immigrants and working-class Londoners living in squalid conditions. Prostitution was widespread, and many women turned to it to survive. The Ripper's victims were all found within a mile of each other in the heart of this bleak neighborhood. The dense, maze-like streets and poor lighting made it the perfect hunting ground for a predator who could vanish into the shadows after each attack. The area's poverty and social tensions only added to the fear and chaos that gripped the community during the autumn of 1888. 2. The canonical 5 victims were brutally mutilated. While there were several murders in Whitechapel during that period, 5 were widely accepted as the canonical 5 linked to Jack the Ripper: Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Each murder was marked by extreme violence and mutilation. The victims' throats were slashed, and their bodies were disemboweled with surgical precision. Organs were removed, and in some cases, body parts were placed in grotesque positions. The level of brutality suggested the killer had anatomical knowledge, possibly medical or butcher skills. The final victim, Mary Jane Kelly, was murdered indoors, allowing the killer to take his time, resulting in the most horrific mutilations of all. 3. The killer may have had medical or anatomical knowledge. One of the most chilling facts about Jack the Ripper is the speculation that he possessed some knowledge of human anatomy. Several doctors who examined the victims noted the precision with which organs were removed, suggesting the killer knew exactly where to cut. However, some experts argue that the killer was not a surgeon, but someone with experience in butchery or animal slaughter. The debate continues, but the surgical nature of the mutilations remains one of the darkest and most disturbing aspects of the case. 4. The letters sent to the police and newspapers. During the height of the murders, several letters were sent to the police and newspapers, allegedly from the killer himself. The most famous is the Dear Boss letter, which first introduced the name Jack the Ripper. This letter taunted the police and hinted at future murders. Another, the From Hell letter, was sent with half a human kidney, supposedly taken from one of the victims. While many believe these letters were hoaxes, possibly written by journalists to sell papers, some think the killer himself may have sent them to mock the authorities. The letters added a sinister layer to the case, fueling public hysteria and media frenzy. 5. The murders caused widespread panic in Whitechapel. The brutal killings caused widespread panic in Whitechapel. Fear and suspicion ran rampant, and the local community was gripped by hysteria. Rumors spread that the killer was a part of a gang or that he carried a black bag filled with knives. This led to violent confrontations as residents attacked anyone carrying a black bag in the streets. The police struggled to maintain order as the public's fear turned to anger and chaos. The social unrest added to the grim atmosphere of the East End during the autumn of 1888. 6. A crucial clue was destroyed by the police. One of the most controversial moments in the investigation was the destruction of a key piece of evidence. After the murder of Catherine Eddowes, a blood-stained apron was found near the crime scene with a chalk message above it reading, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." The police commissioner ordered the message to be erased to prevent anti-Semitic riots, despite objections from some officers who wanted to preserve it as evidence. This decision may have cost investigators a vital clue and remains a dark stain on the case. 7. The killer may have been part of a gang. While Jack the Ripper is often portrayed as a lone killer, some contemporary rumors suggested he was part of a gang. Witnesses and locals reported seeing groups of men involved in violent attacks on women around the same time. A newspaper even published a story about a woman who claimed to have summoned the ghost of one of the victims, Elizabeth Stride, who revealed the killer belonged to a gang of 12. Though unproven, this theory adds a chilling dimension to the case, suggesting the murders might have been part of a larger pattern of organized violence. 8. Psychic mediums tried to help the police. In the late 19th century, spiritualism was popular, and several psychic mediums claimed to have insights into the Ripper case. One medium in New York sent a telegram to the police with a name and address, urging them to investigate a man named Thomas Totson. Unfortunately, the address did not exist, and the police were unable to follow up. While these claims were never substantiated, they reflect the desperation and fear gripping London at the time, as well as the public's willingness to believe in supernatural help to catch the killer. 9. Modern DNA testing points to a suspect. More than a century after the murders, advances in forensic science have reignited hopes of identifying Jack the Ripper. In 2014, a team of researchers analyzed DNA from a shawl found near Catherine Eddowes' body. Their results pointed to Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant and barber who was a prime suspect at the time. Kosminski was known to have a hatred of women and was institutionalized shortly after the murders stopped. However, critics argue the shawl could have been contaminated, and the evidence is not conclusive. Still, this modern twist keeps the mystery alive and fuels ongoing debate. 10. The true identity of Jack the Ripper remains a mystery. Despite 2,000 interviews, dozens of suspects, and countless theories, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains a mystery. Some suspects include Montague John Druitt, a schoolteacher who drowned himself, Walter Sickert, a painter obsessed with the murders, and even members of the British royal family. The case files were partially destroyed during World War II, and the passage of time has obscured many details. The legend of Jack the Ripper has become a blend of fact, folklore, and myth, captivating imaginations and inspiring endless speculation. The darkness surrounding the case is as much about what we don't know as what we do. Jack the Ripper's story is a haunting reminder of the darkest corners of human nature and the limits of justice in a chaotic world. His crimes exposed the brutal realities of Victorian London's underbelly and left a legacy of fear and fascination that endures to this day. The mystery of who he was, why he did it, and how he escaped capture continues to captivate historians, criminologists, and true crime enthusiasts worldwide. If you found this deep dive into the darkest facts about Jack the Ripper chilling and fascinating, hit like so more people can uncover the truth behind the legend. Subscribe for more gripping true crime stories and historical mysteries, and share this with someone who loves exploring the shadows of history. The story of Jack the Ripper is far from over. It's a puzzle that still haunts us all.